so good to know you could join us on CRBC TV on the GMCR show, the very first working day of the week. It's a Monday. Glad we're here back and fresh, back and early on the show. My name is Erim Ega.
And my name is Afi Nia. Thank you so much for joining us. And this is actually the last day in the month of November. I do hope it's been a fruitful one. But just in case November didn't turn out the way you had wanted it to, but then we still have a couple more days in the new year for God to do the things that He had planned to do in your life.
Okay, so good to know that today is the last day of November, and that means Christmas is 26 days away from now, so close. Tomorrow is going to be a Christmas month. Several days to just count down to Christmas.
You know, the day in December that actually came to my mind just now as we were speaking is Boxing Day, which actually signifies the day that people, exchange gifts. So I do hope that as long as we also expect to receive gifts from other people, that we're also preparing to share love in this season.
Yeah, talking about sharing love, it reminds me of 25th, because somebody sent his child, blood and flesh, blood and and skin down here to save mankind for atonement of our sins. It's a great sacrifice. So it's a period we need to step up our kindness. Well,
when we're starting the show on a good note, the table looks very interesting. Sandwiches and other things. We're chilling out this morning.
Yeah, we're chilling out this morning with Chili's. Chili's is located at number 72 Ndidamusangiso Road, Calabar. They are here. They are celebrating with us. They are chilling out with us this morning. So you could just locate them and go chill out with them.
Yes, you know that sometimes you may be so proficient in cooking, but sometimes you just want to have breakfast or lunch or something outside. So this is actually an opportunity. Yeah, you just have something different on a Monday morning.
On a Monday morning, you just get out, chill out with Chili's at 72 Ndidamusangiso Road, Calabar. Don't forget, they're notable for fast food, a restaurant, exotic wines and juice, delicious cakes and snacks.
And there's a cone of ice cream I'm seeing there on the flyer.
And I also give welcome to the show. My name is Erim Ega. Today we're going education, and education, we're told, is the best investment that can last for life, and at the same time make my colleague to be very, very bold in social.
And when you're talking about schools, we always have a teacher that we can never forget.
Very well.
And today on the show we're talking about the role of teachers in child development. And when your child is exposed to an individual called a teacher, it just goes beyond formal training. There's so many other things that teachers pass on to their students.
And that brings to mind the question is, who is a teacher? Who is supposed to be a teacher? Some of us, the teacher should be trained, should be a caregiver, should be somebody caring, should be a nurse, everything about a teacher. So who is a teacher?
And a psychologist, maybe. Well, the role of a teacher.
Remember, our children, teachers were respected. Even till now, you need to respect a teacher, because after a child spends almost half of the day with somebody else. And
then these days, I think the hours that children spend in school are actually longer.
They spend longer.
And then it also brings to mind the fact that though we had left school like years ago, but how many of us, have ever bothered to look out for our teachers? Maybe some of them are old now and they need some help and all that. I'm sure it will be such a pleasant surprise if we can take our time to
trace your teacher again, and of course, give back to the teachers.
And yes, that's talking about the Christmas season, so we should all go beyond our friends and family. Maybe we should try to locate our teachers, some of our teachers.
Very well. Still in the light of teaching, we'll be looking at French as a second language, French in school. We're used to English, but don't forget, especially in Cross River State, that this is a center of attraction where everybody from the whole world come here because of what we have in stock. It's necessary that we learn other languages, for instance, French, German, and all of that. So
at least let's start from the one that's closest, which is more common, French.
So we're looking at French in schools.
It's quite exciting, if we have some French-speaking visitors in Cross River State, and then you just go say bonjour, parlez-vous français, je m'appelle.
You could even get a job as an interpreter and all of that.
And then many times, so as a business person, you can't just imagine how big your business would blows on. So, and that
you need somebody to also communicate with other people that are not Nigerian national or those that speak English. It's quite key. So we're looking at French in schools, and of course also in school. Don't forget the Carnival Queen at all times has a pet project. This time around we're going to give you an excerpt on how she went around the schools to actually educate them, a kind of mentorship, to let them know the ills of misbehaving, actually in quote, not to indulge in acts that could be inimical to their growth, health, and development.
And children these days are greatly influenced by all kinds of things. You know, they have peer pressure, they have influences from television and all other things. So that's just to ensure that we keep them on track.
Very well. Don't forget, if you listen to our news the whole of this weekend, the media was agog with excitement as the microwave football club of CRBC defeated. All right.
I wasn't there to watch, unfortunately. Sorry.
No, I couldn't actually play because of new injury. So I was on the sideline. All right. So congratulations to microwave. We shall be having more on that when the striker himself, the top striker himself, comes around to download what actually transpired at Eastern Secondary Commercial School.
Well, on the GMCR show Monday, we are not leaving out the news updates at 9, and that's talking about the local and the foreign news. And also, oh yes, you've mentioned that the top striker will be here.
Yeah, we'll be here on sports.
The sports segment will be coming up as usual today on the show.
So just stick around. Don't forget, we're chilling with Chili's. So you can also chill out with Chili's at 72 Ndidemosangiso Road this morning. Stay with us.
Hello, good morning. You're still watching Good Morning Cross River Monday. We'll be looking at the roles of teachers in the child's development. We believe that teachers play major roles in the child's development. When a child is born, the first person the child knows is the mother. And at a certain age, the child goes to school. And who takes the responsibility of the child till about a certain time? It is the teacher. So in line with this, we'll be speaking with Dr. Peter Bassi of the Department of Educational Foundation, Guidance and Counseling. He'll be telling us the role of teachers in a child's development.
Teachers are very indispensable instrument as far as development is concerned. And when we talk about development, we're talking about development right from the womb to when the child is born, to when he goes to school, and as he grows to a point where he's able to address himself or becomes aware of himself. Now, talking about the role of teachers, basically, who is a teacher? A teacher is a role model. A teacher is an image maker. A teacher is one who is vested with the responsibility of guiding, providing direction for the child. And virtually, in terms of development, we discovered that there are different levels of development. We're talking about early childhood, infancy, primary, adolescence, and adult, or what we call adulthood. Beginning from the early childhood, let's talk about the child in the nursery school. The role of the teacher at that level is to help the child with shaping the child, because at this age the child has not been able to form an image of himself, what he wants to become in life. And therefore it's easy for the child to acquaint himself with everything. But it's the role of the teacher at this early age to be able to help the child identify abilities in the child, and therefore the role of the teacher cannot be undermined as far as these roles and responsibilities are concerned. But that notwithstanding, children spend greater part of their time at home. It's Monday to Friday, the child stays some basic hours in the school, and it's rested, the responsibility is really highly rested on the teacher, who merely does not does not act merely as a role model. But the teacher is everything to the child. Children love their teachers so very much and hold them in high esteem. And therefore, most of the time, when you tell the child at home, I'll report it to the teacher, the child becomes afraid. But if you tell the child, I'll report it to your mother, the child is not so afraid. Particularly those children in the nursery who believe so much in the aunties. And that whatever the aunties tell them is okay by them. They believe aunties is correct, everything auntie says is true. And the aunties have this cordial relationship with the child. At that early stage of life, development, children tend to attach themselves to parents. And therefore, whoever shows up as a role model or a teacher takes the position of the mother or the father, and therefore children at that early stage attach so much to the person or to the teacher. And at this point, we want to emphasize that according to Albert Bandura's social learning theory, children learn by imitation and by copying, modeling. And therefore, whatever a child sees in the teacher at that early formative of life may eventually be registered in the mind of the child, and the child may end up growing up to copy or imitate the teacher. And therefore, the role of a teacher at this level is very, very crucial, very, very important. If a teacher misbehaves or has an indecent way of dressing or has any form of behavior that is not very relevant or acceptable, the child picks that behavior at that level and they grow into that personality of that teacher, which may not be very good for the child. But let's leave at that level from the nursery school to the primary school. And here we're talking about children between the ages of 5 to about 10 years. It ranges about the children between the ages of 5 to 10 years. And we psychologists believe that the early formative years of a child is very, very crucial, because so many theories attest to that. Bandura's social learning theory attests to that. Piaget's cognitive learning theory attests to that. And also Sigmund Freud's psychosocial development, psychoanalytic development attests to that. And Eric Erickson's psychosocial development attests to that. That children are those formative years, very critical years of a child. And if anything goes wrong with the development of the child, it may affect the child throughout the entire life. And therefore, it's very important that teachers spend more time with children and be able to provide the leadership that a child will need. Children come from different homes, and the background of the home of a child matters a lot, because if children do come from different homes and different backgrounds and come to the school, they eventually come to school with the behaviors they've learned from home. So the teacher there has a lot of role to play in modeling and shaping the behavior of the child. Children come with indisciplined behaviors from home. It's the role of the teacher to ensure that behaviors that are acceptable both to the society, acceptable to the school system, helps the child to reshape and build the child in that area. And it's a very difficult assignment to do at that early stage. Be it as it may, it's very important that we need to understand that teacher's role cannot be undermined and cannot be understated in the fact that a lot of things that the teacher has to do cannot be quantified. And the role of the teacher at this early formative years of life is very, very crucial and very important, because at this early age, from 5 years, 6, 7, 8 to 10, the child at this point can begin to form a person, what we call personality, an image of him or herself. Between 2 years and 5 years, children begin to develop personality of their own. They like to do things for themselves. They like to be left alone. They like to eat alone. They like to dress alone. And they like to do things on their own. If you allow them to do that at an early stage of life, it may go a long way to affect them, positively or negatively. Now, on the positive side, when you let a child begin to explore around his environment on his own, you are trying to bring out the best in the child. And here we talk about creativity, innovation, and initiative. Children at that early age like to be allowed some element of freedom to explore their environment. They like to try out things. They like to look at things and dare things. At that early stage, if children are being deprived of that opportunity, then you kill creativity, you kill innovation in the child. And this is where we Africans in a way are a little bit faulty. The white man takes care of the child. We allow the child a little room to develop, to explore. But here in the African perspective, when a child tries to explore, we try to kill the innovative in them. We want to stop them from doing that. I don't know how we put it, but the basic thing is that where a child is deprived of the opportunity to explore, you build in the child complex. And this is where inferiority complex comes in, and the child begins to be ashamed, withdrawn. But where you allow the child an opportunity to grow on his own, to develop and explore out things on his own, you are giving the child opportunity to understand that he is an independent child of his own, he has a mind of his own, and can do a lot of things at that level. And this is what I encourage parents to do. But if you move from that level of the primary school to the secondary school, that's range between the age of 10, about 15 or 16 at most, where the child is now both in the, either in the JS class or in the SS class. Here, the child, we call it the early adolescent period. And this is a very crucial and a critical time for the child. And the role the teacher plays, very, very significant. Here, children are exposed to choosing career. And the role the teacher plays in trying to shape the children into their area of abilities. Those who are good in the sciences, you help them drill them toward the sciences. Those who are good in the arts, the responsibility of the teacher to drill them toward the arts, and ensure in future if they are to choose career, they choose career where they have the ability, where they have the interest, where they have the excitement, the interest, and the potential towards the inclination towards that particular career. We have cases where parents force their children into careers, and these children end up doing what the parents want, and they become what we call social misfits. They have a career, but they're not very happy, they're not satisfied with themselves. And so at this point, teachers are very crucial, because teachers don't decide for the children, but teachers provide the leeway for the child based on the fact that the teacher understands the child's individual difference, the teacher understands the child's ability, the teacher understands the child's talent, the teacher understands the child's level of intelligence, and the teacher understands the child's ability to socialize, and the rest of them. So at this point, all that the role the teacher plays here is really crucial, because If the child makes a mistake early in life in choosing a career, he may end up in that career being a social misfit. And therefore, it's very important that when the parent, the teacher plays a very similar role in the child, because he helps the child, guides the child, provides the basic information the child needs to veer into the area of profession the child would like. I think at this point I want to say thank you. Thanks for hearing me.
Thank you very much, Dr. Basi. As you all listen to him, the roles of teachers in our society cannot be overemphasized, as they do not only teach in the classroom, but they help modify behaviors, they help choose career for children, and just as he said, teachers are role models for children. Thank you for staying with us throughout this segment. Thank you. Keep on watching Good Morning Cross River as I hand you over to the studio. You're still watching Good Morning Cross River Monday, and our focus is education. As we all know, education is the bedrock of the nation, and every child is entitled to good and quality education. It doesn't just stop by going to school. Every child needs accurate information to make him or her a better citizen of the country. The Calabar Carnival Queen visited the government secondary school, Ikot Efanga, to sensitize the students on the need to abstain from sexual activities. Stay tuned.
I'm the Carnival Queen, as the principal has said already, and I'm happy to be at Government Secondary School Ikot Efanga. So good morning once again. And as the Carnival Queen, I also work with an organization called Mothers Against Child Abandonment. What's head of Mothers Against Child Abandonment? Martha. Hello? Say something now. You're just looking at me. I'm looking at you. I won't say anything again. Hello? Who knows about Maka? I know about Maka. Okay. What's child abandonment? Who knows? Okay.
This is the illegal way of not training up a child, and you just keep the child any way you like and move out of your way, and you don't take care of the child again.
Okay. What's your name? Okay, he said child abandonment is when you abandon a child. You just keep the child somewhere without allowing the child to do anything or doing anything for the child. Who else wants to tell us what child abandonment is? Okay.
Child abandonment is the illegal way of training the child, either not in an appropriate way, or be acceptable in the society, that is acceptable in the society.
Okay.
This is the one yourself.
Okay. Exim has told us another definition of what child abandonment is. Who else wants to tell us? Okay,
Child abandonment is a way whereby parents abandon their child without giving them a good care.
A good care. Okay. So now we've had 3 different meanings of child abandonment. Who are these people now that abandon these children? Do we know? Yes. Who? Yes. What kind of parents? A mother. Not just a mother. There's a word I'm looking for. What kind of mother? Who said something?
My name is Joy Alabi, and the answer to the question is teenager.
A teenage mother? Okay. So, do we understand what child abandonment is now? Yes. It's when a teenager who is not yet up to the age of childbirth or marriage gives birth to a child and she can't take care of that child. And now it's not only the girl child who is involved. because the male children too are involved. True or false? Because it's only the female child that bears the child. It's a process that happens between a male and a female. And now Ms. Maka is telling us that child abandonment is not just about the girl. In other words, we are saying that premarital sex is not for us who are teenagers, but rather it's for sex is for people who are of the age of marriage, who can train a child, who can take care of a child. Hello? So now, at Maka, our vision at Maka is to create a safe world for all children, like you and like me. Do we want that? Yes. We want a safe world for each and every one of us, right? Yes. And also at Maka, we facilitate the collective action for the protection of all children in Nigeria and in the world at large. So now, if we're in school today, we are here so we can learn, right? Yes. And become better citizens, right? Yes. Okay. But now, if we indulge in premarital sex, what happens? We end up losing our education, right? Yes. So now, what are we saying? What's the way forward? What's that thing we should do to avoid all that? Abstinence, right? What's your name? Maria. Did we hear what Maria said? Abstinence. That's the best. That's the only solution. That's the only way. Our education is the number one thing that is on our minds now. So things like premarital sex shouldn't concern us, because all that leads to child abandonment. It leads to teenage pregnancy, which results to child abandonment. It leads to diseases, STIs, such as what? No, one person. Okay, which, like what? Okay. HIV and AIDS, okay? We want a healthy life and want to be good citizens of this nation, true or false? So what are we going to do? What are we going to tell our friends? What are we going to tell people who are not in government secondary school, liquor and farmers? We should tell them that abstinence is most important. Our education is most important. If we come to school now to listen to our teachers, to read our books, to think about our future, will we be bothered about premarital sex? No. So what should we do? Take our studies seriously, right? Yes. So now, when you go home, how many people will you talk to? How many people will you tell that abstinence is the best answer? Abstinence is the only way, because we are teenagers and premarital sex is not for us. How many people? How many people will you talk to? You talk to 3 people today. If Achibong talks to 3 people, and you talk to 3 people, and everybody here talks to at least 3 to 5 people, what are we doing? We're doing what? We're encouraging others and doing what? Exactly. So do we want to save the society? Yes. Do we want to see a better nation? Yes. Do we want to see Nigeria going to greater heights? Yes. Do we want to say no to teenage pregnancy? Yes. No to child abandonment? Yes. No to HIV and AIDS? Yes. Do we want to say no to children on the streets without education? Yes. So what do we do today? Let us lend our voices out. Let's speak out. Let's help our friends who are out there. Our friends who are not in government secondary school, liquor and farmers. Because I can't go to all the schools in Cross River State. But I need you. We need ourselves to send this message across. Do we? Yes. So now, let us say this together. Yes, I can. Yes, I can. Yes, I will. Yes, I will. Yes, I must. Yes, I must. Again? Yes, I can. Yes, I will. Yes, I must. You've made a promise to me today that you're going to talk to people, and I'm counting on you. I'm counting on each and every one of you in this classroom today, because I know that as I've come here today and I've spoken to you in this school, I'm very sure, and I'm going back with a heart full of joy, that each and every one of you here is going to speak to somebody, because we want to put hands together and make our society a better place. So thank you, and please let's a round of applause for us.
based on what I've heard today, I'm going to advise my other ones who are outside that they should abstain from sexual activities and they should also concentrate on their studies. And also, when I pass out the message to them, I'll also tell them to also pass out the message to other ones, our classmates and other ones who are not here. And also, based on what I've heard today, I also tell them that when you abstain from sexual activities, it makes you achieve your goal and you also learn more in life. You make society a better place for everyone.
Advice to students who are not opportunity to be here is that they should try as much as possible to keep away from staying with boys or having some special relationships in order for them not to lead to sexual intercourse. And also they should try as much as possible to face their study. They should try as much as possible to face their study and not for them to harass and be having sexual relationship, because that will lead to abandon of child. Because if they're taking what they're supposed to not taking, like pregnancy, there's possibility that they will at least dump the child because they won't be able to take the responsibility to them. They won't be able to take the responsibility. So in such, they should try as much as possible to keep away from sexual harassment and try as much as possible to study that book in order for them to be something in nature and also help Nigeria, the country as a whole.
My advice to others is that they should abstain from sexual intercourse. Do not expose yourself. As in some girls dress half naked and all that. If you dress well or you abstain from relationships that will not lead to nothing. Some at this age start relationship and there's no relationship that will not lead to sex if not well taken care of. So you have to take care of yourself as a girl and at least cover your body to save you from all this. They should not have sexual intercourse. That abstinence is a solution. Some people may say, like some teenagers say, if I use condom, as in it can protect me. It can give at least 55 protection, but at that process, the condom may leak and it may lead to something else. So abstinence is the best solution.
Bonjour, you're welcome to French in Calabar. My name is Mr. Justin Tete. I'm very happy and delighted to take you through the basics of foreign languages. Especially in Calabar, we know that we are a tourist state and our focus will be on French. French is a very wonderful language, though people think it's difficult. But through experience we discovered that it's a language that can be learned with passion, through thorough discipline and through linguistic abilities. Without wasting time, I would like to tell you about EFATA. EFATA Foreign Language is an institute of languages where we teach French, Spanish, German, and also English. EFATA started through the guidance of Chief Dr. Alex Obona, who had the vision for a future generation of bilingual citizens in Cross River State and also in Nigeria. In EFATA, we guarantee you that you'll get the best. For example, here we use steps into practical French. With this book, you'll go a long way speaking French. We also use Tricolore 3. Tricolore 3 is also a wonderful book, a tool for learning French. For the German students, we use Ir und Wir. Für diejenigen, die verstehen Deutsch, sie kennen etwas darüber sagen. So I said for those who speak German, they can know that this is a wonderful tool for learning German. This is our Spanish book, and we follow the method to make sure you get the best. Most of our students, after 3 months, they start speaking the language because we have the ability to impact into them how to get it best with the wonderful accent, an accurate grammatical approach. In less than 6 months, you are wonderfully positioned to converse in French or in German or in Spanish. This is por todo el mundo. This for all the world. Spanish is spoken in most of the countries in South America, even in North America. Spanish is spoken, and people who have this background maybe Nigerians who have a wonderful linguistic background before leaving, they have more opportunities. And let me assure you, before 3 months, you will speak the way you have never been able to do before, because of our quality way of teaching, because of the experiences of our teachers. And I can assure you that you will be proud of yourself. The intonation and the accent and the grammatical accuracy is what makes a FATA different from foreign language centers all around. Thank you very much. Bonjour. We are welcome to have you at French in Calabar. The importance of this teaching is to help promote French in the beautiful city of Calabar. The importance of French in Calabar, due to her openness to the colonial wave coupled with the arrival of missionaries, Calabar became an important sub-regional center of trade and education with a tradition and distinct social customs and institutions. From historical viewpoint, it's believed that the name Calabar derived from Calabari, which means the river is quiet. Who then can learn French? Everyone with the passion to become a global citizen can learn French. It helps in business, career, education, journey, trip, or in building an international relationship. What can we say about French? French is a Romance language descended from the Latin, closely related to the Portuguese, Spanish, Italian, Romanian. French serves as an official language of the United Nations, the Olympic Games, and also the European Union. French is spoken in France, Belgium, Switzerland, Luxembourg, in Canada, Haiti, in Togo, in Cameroon, in Chad, in Niger, in Caribbean island of Martinique, and also in North America. It is the language of 77 million native speakers and has additional 68 million non-native speakers. To learn a foreign language, it is always advised to start from the basic, meaning the ABCD. The goal of a foreign language specialist is to help the students or the learners to pronounce and to have an accurate accent. We are going to start with the alphabet, which will be a little bit different from the way the English pronounce it. The French admits 26 alphabets, 20 consonants, and 6 vowels. In language learning, the phonics play a key role. Pronunciation is the ability to form the sounds of words, letters, clearly or in a proper way. Class, you are going to repeat it, please. A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K, L, M, N, O, P, Q, R. I would like to have that slide again of the A, B, C. Now, one thing in French is you need to open the mouth. A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K, L, M, N, O, P, Q, R. L'avion, le balai, le cadeau, le dauphin, l'étoile, la fraise, la glace, l'hippocampe, l'île, le jean. le cola, le livre, le maïs, le nid, l'orange, le papillon, la queue, le raisin, le soleil, la tortue, le violon, le wagon, le xylophone, le yo-yo, le zèbre. Applaudissez pour vous-même. Merci beaucoup.
Moi, je suis M. Louis Matéa. Je suis professeur ici au centre de FATA depuis quelques temps. Et j'ai accepté ce job parce que le centre FATA présente beaucoup d'opportunités et d'atouts pour enseigner le français ici au Nigeria. Je suis par ailleurs un ex-journaliste et qui a fait ses études en France, donc j'ai beaucoup de connaissances dans la langue française. Et j'invite par conséquent tous les Nigérians et les Nigérianes qui veulent vraiment apprendre le français de venir au centre FATA parce que nous avons le matériel, nous avons le personnel, nous avons assez d'expérience dans la langue française pour apprendre le français à qui le souhaite.
Je prends le français au centre FATA depuis juillet 2015. Je suis des Nigériens de l'état de Cross River. Le moteur d'enseignement ici est très pratique. Je prends le français afin de communiquer avec les Français qui parlent français et avoir plusieurs opportunités de travail en accent sonique.
Gap tooth, also referred to medically as diastema, is a space or gap between two teeth. Many species of mammals have diastema as a normal feature, most commonly between the incisors and molars. In humans, the term is most commonly applied to an open space between the upper incisors, which is the front teeth. It happens when there is an unequal relationship between the size of the teeth and the jaw. In Canterbury Tales by Geoffrey Chaucer, he wrote of the gap-toothed wife of Bath. As early as this time period, the gap between the front teeth, especially in women, was associated with lustful characteristics. Thus, the implication in describing the gap-toothed wife of Bath is that she is a middle-aged woman with insatiable lust. This has no scientific basis, but it has been a common premise of folklore since the Middle Ages. In Ghana, Namibia, and Nigeria, gap tooth are regarded as being attractive and a sign of fertility, and some people have even had them created through cosmetic surgery. According to Ugo Treasure, in her article, "There is Beauty in a Gap Tooth," in many parts of Africa, including my birth country Nigeria, a woman with a gap in the middle of her dentition is considered a beautiful being. Women wish to have her smile. Men love to see her smile. It is believed that such a woman possesses some sort of sexual appeal and beauty. There's apparently something about that tiny space in the middle of the upper teeth that makes many Africans go wild. In France, they are called dents du bonheur, lucky teeth. This expression originated in Napoleon's time. When the Napoleonic army recruited, it was imperative that soldiers had incisors in perfect condition because they had to open their powder magazine with the teeth in order to recharge their rifles that they had to hold with their two hands. All those who had teeth apart were then reformed as unfit to fight. Some men were breaking their own teeth voluntarily to avoid going to war. LeBlanc's Gap-Toothed Woman is a documentary film about diastematic women released in 1987 in New York City. A charming valentine to women born with a space between their teeth, ranging from light-hearted whimsy to a deeper look at issues like self-esteem and societal attitudes towards standards of beauty. So now we're on the streets to find out people's view on gap tooth. Don't go away.
Mostly I admire women that has it, also men. In fact, it adds more beauty to their face, and most times I wish I could have, you understand? So I admire them a lot.
To me, it doesn't bother whether you have a gap tooth or not, but what I take in ladies is character first and the behaviors. But it's not the gap tooth that will make me follow you, but if you have good character, I'll follow you to any extent.
But I think it's a natural thing that so many persons possess.
I like women who has gap tooth because whenever they smile, it gives me a kind of an inner feeling. Though that feeling is not one that will captivate me to maybe having a lust over a woman. Yes, but I just like them.
Gap tooth is sometimes caused or exacerbated by the action of a labial frenulum, the tissue connecting the lip to the gum, causing high mucosal attachment and less attached keratinized tissue, which is more prone to recession, or by tongue thrusting, which can push the teeth apart. The technical term for a tooth gap is diastema, from the Greek stem diasternai, meaning to stand apart. Dentists often treat a gap when it occurs in the top row of the teeth along the front and is visible whenever you open your mouth or smile. Where some people see personality in a gap between teeth, others just want closure on the issue. Diastema is one of the most common dental issues caused by everything from thumb sucking to gum disease. It is possible to cosmetically or surgically address these dental issues. Methods to adjust this dental condition include traditional braces, Invisalign, aligners, which are the clear alternative to metal braces for adults, kids and teens, dental bands or direct dental bonding to make the teeth wider and thus fill up the space. One problem with orthodontic correction, however, is relapse. There is a strong propensity for the gap to reappear after treatment. This can be addressed by bonding a permanent retainer to the inside surfaces of the teeth to prevent the diastema from reopening. Some well-known people noted for having gap tooth include singer-songwriters Elton John and Seal, rapper 50 Cent, former late-night show host David Letterman, guitarist Steve Howe, supermodel Alec Weck, singer Bobby Brown and his late daughter Bobby Christina Brown, former U.S. Secretary of State Condoleezza Rice, superstar singer Madonna, Nigerian football star Kanu Nwankwo and his lovely wife Amarachi, and ace comedian Eddie Murphy, to mention a few. The list is actually endless and goes to prove that gap tooth as a feature or diastema as a defect or condition is not a limitation to achieving one's goal and being a force to be reckoned with in life. It is actually celebrated and appreciated in most cases. So be proud to give that gap-toothed smile with glee, because that's what makes you uniquely you. And if you do not have a gap tooth, don't go trying to create one artificially. You're perfect, just the way you are.